ragazzi,
Hey,
ragazzini, Emiliuccio, Costantino, Lisa,
hey,
Hola.
hello, guys.
Eddie. We have also our guest waiting for the moment.
Hey, wait a
Don't
moment, wait a
reveal
moment.
yourself. Don't reveal
No, no, no,
yourself.
no, 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 no.
Uh, 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 uh.
First, we have to say hello to Berlin, London, Turkey, Argentina, Sydney, Olbia. Good evening, Sebi. There is somebody that refers exclusively to Sebastiano. Good evening,
Yes,
We don't
Sebastiano.
matter.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
France, Trento, New Zealand, London, UK again, Cappadocia, Nisa, we have to come to Cappadocia.
Yeah,
Sweden,
promise, I will
Brazil,
organize.
Brazil, Roma, Turkey, Canada, Reggio Emilia, oh my God,
Grande Reggio Emilia.
Moscow, Ukraine, Jerusalem, Romania, Libya, Brazil again, New Zealand again, Baku. Baku is
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan. Yeah, Verona, Canada, Riga, Austria, Kosovo, Salerno, Holland, Ukraine. Hello to the planet Earth.
To the
Eh?
planet, and just let
The
me
planet
give
Earth.
a special hello to the Australian people who suffered just a few hours ago from a disaster. Really, the world is a little bit crazy, and in the
Basically,
entire planet. Huh?
basically, I did not get the notice because I was working on what I don't know what happened.
There were many people killed on a beach
12 people.
by
Yeah.
12 people by two
And
terrorists.
It was
So
an anti-Semitic
22 injured.
attack.
yeah,
attack.
kind of really catastrophic event. Yeah. Va bene, va bene, va bene, va bene. Allora, Emilio, I suppose that you have to introduce our marvelous guest.
Yes, we are so happy, so
Yes.
honored, but mainly so happy to have today with us the
But
one and only what?
you
The
like to
one and
introduce first
only.
Susanna or first the topic we are going to discuss today?
No, come on, let's go to Susanna. Let's go to Susanna.
Yes, let's go to
Susanna, Mama
Susanna.
Susanna.
Mama,
Just
Mama Susanna. Mama Susanna, you
Hi,
look so
hello.
beautiful. You look
Oh,
so
yeah.
thank you.
beautiful.
new share.
Always. She's
Thank you
always
so
with
much.
us.
Thank you.
I
I love
Wonderful.
you.
know.
We love you so
Love
much.
you more.
Thank you so much, Susie, for being here tonight. We're going to spend together, let's say, almost an hour, discussing mainly about our favorite professional topics, but not exclusively. In fact, we will start with some, let's say, things outside work. But first, should we see the question of the week, which is obviously related to the topic?
Yes, yes, and it started already the voting. So dermoscopy is increasingly used as a biomarker. Which statement is true? It only helps with diagnosis for 22 people. It is
Percent. Yeah. 22 people. Yeah.
it can reflect biological behavior of melanoma for 52. And today's Zoom mood. So, okay, so basically, it can reflect biological behavior of melanoma and it helps with diagnosis. What is the topic of the day, Emilio, by the way?
So we just touched the topic of the day. The topic of the day is that dermoscopy, which of course we are used to the idea that it's the main diagnostic tool for dermatologists in general and particularly for skin cancer. It appears more and more evidence suggests that it's much more powerful than this. So it provides information which are not useful only for diagnosis, but also to predict other characteristics of the tumor, maybe even to predict the biological behavior of melanoma and other tumors. So this power, which is hidden in the macroscopic morphology that dermoscopy offers, and that we still discover. I mean, after so many years, we still discover things that were just there under our eyes, but we could not see them. So it's fascinating for me, at least.
Yeah. But Emilio, what is fascinating to me is that you look like a dramatic actor, with this, everything is black only. You can also make a to be or not to be. This is the problem.
You know that my dream was to become an actor, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but let's start with the interview of Susanna. Who starts?
I have my question, if
Okay,
you like.
start.
Okay, Susie, so my question to you is, can you share with us? I know that you are not prepared, so it will come instinctively. Uh, the best news that you heard in the last period. I'm not speaking about business. I'm not speaking about your professional things. The best news from around the world.
Best news. Yeah.
That made you feel optimistic, and immediately afterwards, the worst news that you heard in the last period from somewhere around the world that made you feel the opposite, pessimistic.
Yeah, this is super difficult, and even if you are not prepared, because every day we are just bombed with many different news. For me, the difficult to say, difficult to say.
Yeah, something that comes quickly in your mind. I mean,
In my mind, the best news, and not related with our profession,
not necessarily, not necessarily.
not necessarily. Uh, Hmm. Maybe
New Year
today I'm
is coming.
not very optimistic today.
Okay, you can
But I
start
will
with
start with the
the
worst. I
bad
will
news.
start with the worst.
Yeah.
It's that we are preparing ourselves for bad situations and even maybe for a war. And this is something that is really struggling me, because now we have, I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but some kind of advertisement telling us it's important that at home you need to have money, you need to have water, you need to have some food, you need to be prepared. And this is kind of news are not really nice. They are worrying me. Even they are not a clear-cut, open discussion. They are preparing society for difficult moments, and this is something that for me it's at least worrisome. And maybe the best news is associated with, at least related with what we are doing at our hospital, in which we are using CAR T cells therapy, but it's an academic one that it's promoted by our hospital. And we were able to treat already 600 patients in Europe, and we are ready to start treatments in Australia, in India, and in many other countries in Europe and in America. And I think this kind of initiatives are giving us the hope that human being can do the best and the worst.
Wow. Susanna, patients suffering from melanoma.
Now the ones, no, CAR T cells, what we are using now mainly is lymphoblastic leukemia, also lymphomas, and also myeloma. These are the three indications that we are working more now, but we are preparing also CAR T cells for the treatment of some autoimmune disease like lupus, or even a kind of encephalitis that is associated with the development of psychosis
Oh, wow.
and psychiatric disorders.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
Wonderful.
Nisa, you
Great
like to be
news.
the next?
Yeah, I have two questions, Susanna, and it's easy. With such a busy academic and clinical life, what helps you stay balanced?
Yeah, to keep the balance is not easy, but I try to keep at least 3 days a week for exercising, and also I try to better organize my time, and now I'm trying to arrive early to any appointment, because it keeps your mind a little bit less stress than arriving 2, 3, 4 minutes late. It means trying to arrive always early, then it keeps you more in balance.
Yeah.
Point. I need this advice.
Good point.
It's an
Not
We all
excellent
easy,
need
point.
this.
not easy.
And the second
Yeah,
question,
not
Lisa?
easy.
And the second
And
question?
the other one is about dermatoscopy and AI. And does the integration of AI into dermatoscopy excite you or make you cautious?
Both. I love it, but I know that also has some risks that we need to take into account.
Wonderful. This is very
Wonderful.
political, Susanna.
No, but it's true. It's
It's
true.
true.
We
It's
we
true.
love
It's true.
machines. We
Yeah.
love AI.
Yeah.
We are using any new gadget, but we know that
Yeah.
it's the same with the, I don't know, with the navigator, Google, or whatever you use. That
Yeah.
in the cities is working very well, but when you are in the forest, you can be lost
Yeah.
easily. It means that probably with AI will be more or less the
Yeah.
same for dermoscopy.
Yeah. 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 And you,
Absolutely.
Costantino, would you like to ask Susanna?
I will ask something more cheerful. Susanna, what's your favorite meal to cook?
Good question, but probably paella.
Paella, yes.
Paella
I knew the
forever.
answer. I knew the
Paella.
answer.
Paella.
If, so, to our audience, if you haven't tried Susanna's paella, you're missing so much in your life.
I cannot invite all of them, but
Too bad. Too
because
No,
I
bad.
see so
it's only
many people
400 people.
connected,
Too
so
bad.
many people connected. Incredible.
Listen, Susanna, that's my question. My question is, go back when you were a teenager and tell me which was your dream. What would you like to become when you were dreaming about it?
Yeah, before 16 years old,
Mhm.
dancer,
Mm.
bailarina.
Ah,
Ah, la ballerina, bravo.
ballerina.
Yeah,
Mm.
maybe even younger when I was a child. Yeah.
Okay. So ballerina, and why you didn't succeed to become a ballerina?
No. It was something like a dream, but my real rational option was scientist. I
Ah, okay.
wanted to be scientist, study even mathematics or whatever. But then I
Okay.
realized that what I really want is to apply to humans, and then medicine became the option. Maybe also because my father was really ill when I need to go to decide what to study, and then I thought that medicine could be good. Yeah, maybe my father influenced and his disease
Of course.
influenced me.
Our parents are influencing a lot.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
way.
No one doctor in my family. I will be the first and the last.
Wonderful. Thank you, Susanna. And now I suppose, Emilio, would you like to start with the topic of the day, and then we
Yeah,
will ask Susanna to join the discussion.
of course, unless Sebastiano wants to pick a question from the audience or not. There were
Just
some.
one question. Which
Yeah.
is your hobby, Susanna?
My
Hobby.
hobby. Oh, I
Yeah.
have many hobbies, but ski because we are in winter time. Now is ski. Also with my bicycle in the mountains or in the roads. And yeah, swimming, sailing. But
Lots of
probably the first ski.
the first is ski. Very
Yeah.
good. Very interesting. but not ballerina, not dancing.
Okay, you know I love dancing, but
But you have to know that Susanna can dance a very nicely tango. Yeah.
no, tango no,
Tango,
but
no. No,
to
not
dance
tango, sorry.
proper
Not
tango, you
tango,
need to.
come si chiama? The Spanish
The
dancing.
Spanish one is el paso doble.
È il passo doble, bravo.
Paso doble,
That's
yes.
what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Il passo doble. Molto bene, molto bene. Ok.
Okay, let's go. Let's dive into the topic.
Perfect.
Yes, please.
Go, go,
Let's
go,
do it.
go, go, go.
Let's do it. Okay. So the topic, as we said, is let's say the hidden information in a dermatoscopic image. Of course, diagnosis is what immediately comes to our mind when we see this. And the diagnosis here is, of course, melanoma. The question which we are trying to investigate is how dermoscopy can provide information about other things, which are, in fact, very much important for the prognosis, for the biology of the melanoma. And here just appeared our friend. Remind me the name, JP. I always forget the name.
Rudy.
Rudy. Here is also Rudy, who is interested to hear about this, I'm sure. Yeah. So, how dermoscopy can predict the biologic behavior. And in fact, in the years before, we had already some evidence. Much of this evidence came by Susanna's and her team work. How, with dermoscopy, we can predict things that were strange to think about. For example, looking at the dermatoscopic image and predicting the genetic background of melanoma. Looking at the dermatoscopic image and predicting whether the sentinel lymph node biopsy is going to be positive or negative. So Susanna did, I would say, the first steps towards this logic. I will just show you a couple of things that they did back then. That was something like 10 years ago or maybe a little bit more. Look here, dermatoscopic criteria associated with the genetic background of the melanoma, so predictive of specific mutations. For example, in that paper, they found that you can predict the presence or not of BRAF mutation from dermatoscopic characteristics or the presence of mutations in the MAPK. For example, in that particular study, they found that when you see peppering, which is a very common finding in melanomas, then the likelihood of MAPK mutations increases a lot. And also when we see ulceration, then the likelihood of BRAF positivity, again, increases by 2.5 fold, so significant increase of the likelihood. So that was back then something really, innovative. We could never think that this could make sense, but it appeared that it does. And then, again, by Susanna's work, we learned that we can predict another impossible to think topic, which is the positivity of the sentinel lymph node in this very nice and very well elaborated study that they did 10 years ago, published in the BJD. So they found that there are dermatoscopic criteria that predict the sentinel lymph node status. For example, dermatoscopic ulceration or blotch, they both are significant predictors of the sentinel lymph node status. And then if you combine this information with breast low thickness, of course, and the histopathologic characteristics, plus the epidemiologic data, so age, sex, and so on, then you predict much, much better which ones are going to be positive in the sentinel lymph node and which ones are going to be negative in the sentinel lymph node. Therefore, you can identify a group of patients that you can avoid, for example, to do the procedure, since the likelihood of negative sentinel lymph node biopsy is extremely high. This is what they demonstrated here. Look, the number needed to treat without dermoscopy, based only on histology, was 4.5. What does it mean? It means that you need to do 5 biopsies in order to find one positive. While if you combine all this information, including dermoscopy, then it drops down to 2.5. So you do 2.5 biopsies in order to find one positive, which is definitely significant. Of course, that was done in an era where sentinel lymph node biopsy was, let's say, more important procedure than it is today. But still, it gives the idea of the power which is hidden in dermoscopy. Now, the big question, of course, is whether we can, with dermoscopy, predict directly the metastatic potential of melanoma. That's the most, let's say, fascinating one. And to this question, in the last years, we have some initial answers that it appears that we can do it, or at least we can approach it, either by using AI or not. Now, first, let me remind you why this is important and essential, for two reasons. First, because in the group of early melanomas, the ones that are, let's say, stage 1B and 2A, of course, the prognosis is very good. You see here the 5-year survival, it's almost 100%, but it's not 100, it's 97 for T1 or 88 for T2. So the problem is that if we look at the absolute numbers of people dying from melanoma, look that stage T1, which means melanomas thinner than 1 millimeter, can you imagine, accounts for 30% of melanoma deaths. So it means that this small percentage does not result in a small absolute number. Why? Because they are very frequent, of course. Early melanomas are very frequent. So definitely here there is a gap. I mean, there is an unmet need. How can we spot these early melanomas among the plethora of early melanomas that have the potential to be aggressive? So that's the first need that we have. The second need is the opposite. If we go now to advanced melanomas, stage 2B and above, which today are candidates for adjuvant treatment, we have pembrolizumab indicated for 2B and 2C. We also have nivolumab indicated for 2B and 2C. Why are they indicated? Because they offer a benefit, relapse, in the relapse-free survival, in the event-free survival, which means relapse, of the magnitude of 10, 12, 13%. This means that for 10% of the patients that will receive nivolumab and they will benefit from this, we expose 100% of the patients to this treatment. So 1 out of 10 is going to benefit, but we expose 10 out of 10 to this treatment. And this is not a treatment free of adverse events. This is definitely, immunotherapy is not free of adverse events and is not also free of severe adverse events, and we know it pretty well. So here there is the opposite need to de-identify treatment for those people that don't really need it, and we expose them to the risks without any real benefit. Therefore, this, of course, initiates the huge discussion of the need for biomarkers. What are the biomarkers? They are parameters that can predict accurately the outcome on each individual patient, let's say, precision medicine, personalized medicine. And towards this, we have many efforts, biomarkers, tissue-based, like the JEP tests. We have biomarkers which are circulating, like the ctDNA or like the microRNAs. We also have the recently the interferon gamma signature, which appears to be probably a strong biomarker to predict the response to treatment. Among those biomarkers, it appears that we have one more, or one potential more biomarker, which is dermoscopy, that can also contribute in this preoperative risk assessment. So this is the one paper in which artificial intelligence analysis of dermatoscopic images was used to predict melanoma metastasis. And you can see here the result, which was quite impressive, was that an algorithm that evaluates only dermatoscopic images can predict the risk of metastasis equally well to histopathologic criteria. And then that's the new thing that just came out 2 days ago, or like 8th of December, 6 days ago, in which we practically analyzed dermatoscopically a number of images of melanoma, some of them developed metastasis and some of them did not develop metastasis. And we tried, the primary outcome was practically to develop the dermoscopy-based predictive model of melanoma metastasis. And of course, also compare this to the standard risk prediction, which today is based only on breast low thickness and ulceration. And the secondary outcome was to predict recurrence-free survival and distant metastasis-free survival, especially for those early melanomas, which are particularly interesting for the reason that I analyzed before. So that was the web-based platform that was used for the analysis of the images. These were the criteria that were included in the evaluation. Okay, let's go to the main thing, which are the results here. So 524 patients were eventually included. Of them, 222 developed metastases. The remaining ones did not develop metastases. And look here also, of 381 early stage melanomas, 20% developed metastases in this particular sample of the study. So there was some power in the sample to analyze also the subgroup of early melanomas. And what was the main finding? First of all, we have 4 dermatoscopic criteria that are strongly associated with the possibility of metastasis. 2 of them are positively associated and 2 of them are negatively. So as you can see here, pigmentation, when pigmentation increases, then this favors non-metastatic disease. And when pigmentation goes to 100%, then this strongly favors non-metastatic disease. That's the first one. The second is dermatoscopic ulceration. The more we have, the more metastasis becomes likely. Then number 3, regression structures. The more regression structures we have, the less likely it is that the melanoma is going to metastasize. And the last one is blue-white veil. When it's present, then of course it's a positive predictor of metastasis, increases the likelihood of metastasis. These are the 4 dermatoscopic parameters.
Emilio, concerning blue-white veil, there was only a qualitative assessment, not quantitative, right?
Yeah, correct. For the blue-white veil, yeah, only qualitative, present or absent. Yeah. And the interesting thing, the most impressive thing comes now. Okay, we have 4 predictors, based on which we created model 1. Model 2 was based on what we use currently today, which is histopathology, so breast low thickness and ulceration. And model 3 was a combination of the 2. So both of them together. The impressive thing was that dermoscopy alone was numerically better than histopathology, which means breast low thickness and ulceration, and the combination of the 2 was the best of all. Of course, numerically, I repeat, the differences were not statistically significant, but this might also be related to the sample size, obviously. Anyhow, that's a quite unexpected and impressive result. And then when it comes to the secondary outcome, which is particularly interesting because it's about early stage melanomas, first of all, the same criteria remain valid except of heavy pigmentation. Heavy pigmentation is lost here. When we focus only on early melanomas, we have only 3 predictors, which are regression, protective, of course, blue-white veil and ulceration, negative, so predictive of metastasis. Again, dermoscopy is numerically better to predict recurrence-free survival and distant metastasis-free survival than histopathology. And look here, the impressive curves. These are all early stage melanomas. The blue line are the ones that dermatoscopically negative, let's say. And those dermatoscopically negative, all of them in the test set, all of them remained free of recurrence. While in the group that was dermatoscopically positive, so dermatoscopically suspicious for metastasis, in fact, we identified a number of metastatic events. And again here, the gray line here are all melanomas stage 1B and 2A on the right side of the image. And the blue line are the ones that are dermatoscopically negative. You see a perfect recurrence-free survival, and those with dermoscopy positive are the red line. So in the end, in the low risk group, low risk means 1B and 2A, dermoscopy was able to correctly classify 70% of those patients that eventually develop metastases. So it appears quite powerful. Okay, so based on this, and with this I conclude, we could say that although we didn't think like this before, now we can start thinking like this, and we can say that the two images above, they are of course of the same Breslow thickness and the same ulceration status, but in the image on the right, we can see regression, which increases the likelihood that everything will go fine, that it will not metastasize. And in the images on the bottom, again, on the left, we see regression, while on the right, we see blue-white veil. And in fact, these were the correct answers. You see which melanomas were metastatic and which were not. So that was it. I think that it's interesting, definitely. Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah,
all
great
this.
study.
It's really impressive. Of course, for the so then let's recap a little bit. So the pigmentation for early stage is not relevant anymore, while it's relevant for the assessment of 2B, 2C, basically.
It's relevant for the total sample.
Total sample, okay. And so it means that we have regression, we have blue-white veil, and we have ulceration. Um, uh, Speaking about early stage, probably ulceration is the less impact in terms of impact. Probably ulceration is as a very small impact because the number of ulcerated early stage melanomas is very low, while regression and blue-white veil could make the difference. So if you find lots of regression, you can stay calm and you can think that this lesion is supposing to go well. If you have a blue-white veil, then it's the opposite. But if you have none of the two, what's going on?
So,
For example, if you go back to the two examples you made, no, of early stage melanomas, the one she was showing regression, and the other one didn't show regression, but also not too much blue-white veil, right? So no regression, no blue-white veil. It means that it could be that it's going to metastasize, like
yeah,
in the
yeah, but
example
And
you showed.
how
then
about milky red areas, polymorphic vessels, Emilios?
no,
Milky red
no.
areas and polymorphic vessels.
No, they did not prove to be important in the analysis, although I expected that the intensity of vascularization would be important, but that was my initial expectation before the study. In the end, did not prove to be a significant predictor. But let's hear Susanna. I'm
Yeah,
sure that she has
yeah,
many,
no.
many things to say about all this concept.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to congratulate you because you have the energy to put together all these cases with the follow-up and to get more information that is giving us more clues about the importance of morphology predicting prognosis. The second thought, sorry, is that we need to encourage even more to take always pictures of lesions before excision. Any kind of lesion that we excise, we need to have the picture. Clinical and dermoscopy picture, super important because for correlation it's important, but if we are able to have always the dermoscopic image, then we can start to apply it as a biomarker. But if we only have time to time and there's very early and tiny lesions that we recognize, then it will be impossible. I know that all of you take pictures of everything, me too, but we need to convince to the system that any doctor that is doing excision of something, they need to take images, clinically and dermoscopy images, super important. And the third comment is that probably because we are using the multivariable analysis, the absence of pigmentation is associated with the vessels, and then usually in the model you don't keep both. It means that probably you're right that vessels are super important, but usually we see the vessels when there is no pigmentation,
Yeah.
and then it's one associated to the other. And yeah, in concerning ulceration, Jeppy, it's true that usually ulceration appears in thick lesions, but with dermoscopy we can see these smaller ulcerations that sometimes pathologies are missing, and that for me are super important because with this dermoscopy image we can identify these kind of tumors, that in some areas they have a small erosion, and some small ulcerations that we see with this serohematic crust that can help us to predict better the prognosis.
Sure.
That's very
By the
interesting,
way,
Susanna.
Emilio, can you show again the summary? Some of the people of the
Of course.
audience are asking for the summary again, the last
Yeah.
slide, I suppose.
Of course, I will. Just wanted to say that the uh, what Susanna said is very, I mean, very accurate. Of course, ulceration is not frequent. The histologic report of ulceration is not frequent in early melanomas, but this is not the case for the ulceration that we can see with dermoscopy. And this was highlighted by this study in which we found many cases with disagreement of histological ulceration and the score for dermatoscopic ulcerations that the raters gave. So dermatoscopically ulcerated, but this ulceration was not reported in the histopathology. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Emilio, sometimes we see in histopathology some areas that are they have again epithelium, but that they were ulcerated, and sometimes maybe dermoscopy can identify better these lesions because we see this cerematic crust, and at the end, pathologists see one moment. And with dermoscopy,
Exactly.
sometimes we can see all the surface and even can try to understand what happens just before and after. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I want to
There
build
is also,
exactly on what Susanna is saying, that in essence, what we see with dermoscopy is a horizontal section that we with which we can envision histology. And it's very common, and maybe we should do a study about this. It's very common that I do see ulceration and it doesn't come back in the histology report.
It's
And
a
I ask my,
pathology.
and I ask my pathology to go back and take more cuts in order to find it. And this changes the stage of the patient, which is very important. So couldn't agree more with
Mhm.
what you're saying.
No, but Susanna, my question would be, what do you believe that we're gonna see in the next future? So this personalized risk assessment, which I
yeah.
mean, towards this we have so many efforts from different areas converging together. Do you imagine that soon we're gonna have this use of multiple kinds of information, and we're gonna have a personalized melanoma risk that can have a clinical applicability?
I hope so because many times we are talking to our patients about probability, and these percentages are only working in populations because a patient or relapse or do not relapse or die or it's alive. It means that yeah, it never happens that the patient dies 30%. You know what I mean? And then percentages are working super well for populations, but not for patients. And when you want this individualized medicine, what we need is try to predict what happens to this patient.
yeah,
Not in theory in a population of 100 patients similar to this patient. And this individualized medicine means that we need to understand the biological power of the tumor in this patient. And it means that we need mainly the information of the tumor. And many of this information is in morphology. And I know that if I'm brown hair My genes are of brown hair. If I have brown eyes, my genes are for brown eyes. And even if I'm tall or not, and we understand that morphology is codified by our genes in many things. It's exactly the same with the tumors. Many things are already predicted in the molecular mechanisms behind this tumor. And with morphology, we can estimate. Sometimes it's complex, but if we are able to better train some kind of algorithms that can see much better than we see, it could help. And then we need to put together with other things. It means the patient is immune suppressed or not, that where is the lesion located, is what is the age of the patient, and etc., etc.
The
But
happiness, the happiness status of the patient also.
exactly. No,
But
no, but it's true.
by the way, we have some questions. Was mitotic index and lymphovascular invasion included in the assessment?
Mitotic index, yes. Lymphovascular invasion, no.
No.
Maybe it was a missing value.
Okay, okay. And there is also another, could be the lower metastatic risk with high pigmentation due to tighter intercellular junctions between melanocytes and
Yes.
could extensive regression reflect a stronger immune response. Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
very,
exactly.
very good points. In fact, both of them are commented in the paper as possible explanations of these findings. I mean, that's really,
Yeah, yeah. We know now that to have already tumor-infiltrated lymphocytes is a positive sign that predicts better prognosis and better response to immune therapy. And if we see already regression, it means that lymphocytes were there and did the job. It means that, yeah, of
Yeah.
course,
But
it's
by the
that.
way, there is also a nice question by Maria
Yeah,
Eugenia. It's good. Maybe I did not catch, but in a previous webinar, you told that maybe when a patient has metastasis and the primary is not identified, the possibility of regression could explain the metastasis.
yeah,
Well, this is a tricky situation. The tricky situation is the following: regression is not only a protective factor, but also a confounding factor, meaning that if you have a melanoma like this, 3 centimeters with lots of regression, it could be possible that this lesion is not anymore thin like it was measured by the pathologist, like 0.7, but maybe 1 year before it was 2.5. You know what I mean?
Equal.
So it means that it could be also a confounding factor in some cases.
yeah.
yeah.
And Jeffrey, also another important thing for regression is that my impression is that in some tumors, regression is selecting the more aggressive clones.
Sure, sure,
It
sure. I
means that
also.
those that the lymphocytes can destroy, they destroy, but maybe some clones can have
Well, maybe
resistance.
I understand
Uh,
what you mean. Maybe it's not the regression per se selecting the clone, but it's the tumor which is
yeah, exactly.
clever,
Well, okay.
trying trying to
Exactly.
escape
Escape. Yeah,
from
exactly.
the killing process
Yeah.
to developing new clones resistant
Exactly.
to.
Exactly. And something that we know now is the majority of different clones are already present at the beginning,
Yeah,
are
yeah.
already present at the beginning in the tumor. But when, I don't know, when the tumor, it's mainly BRAF, okay? But when you use a BRAF inhibitor, you destroy these cells, but then the other clones that were BRAF wild type, that they can grow. It's just a very easy way to explain, but in many other capabilities of cells, it could happen. And many times what you see in the metastasis is that that clone was already in the primary, but in a very tiny and small proportion. But when the big one is destroyed because immunity or whatever, then the tiny maybe is the one that can survive in the lungs or in the breast or in the brain or whatever.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
means everything is in the primary.
Sure.
In the
Everything is
primary, yeah.
already
Yeah.
there.
I was thinking that, yeah, say, JP, say.
Yeah, there is also a nice comment by George. While I accept that regression is a feature of good immune response to the tumor, but isn't there a risk that the melanoma label melanophages are taking the malignancy to the lymph nodes? I don't get it. Meaning that
It could be an hypothesis, but I'm not sure that it could be the case that macrophages or melanophages take genetic information from the tumor and transfer to other cells. There's some people trying to demonstrate that, but it's not clear. Something that it's true that it's even we have a strong immune reaction, our lymphocytes can get exhausted at the end. And for this reason, sometimes metastases in tumors with regression are late. And maybe in our study, we have a mean follow-up. I don't remember for how many years, maybe 4 years or something like that. But sometimes we see patients that they relapse after 15 years or 20 years. And probably it could be the case that lymphocytes were okay for a long period of time, but at the end they got exhausted and then metastases appear.
they get tired. They get
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
So melanoma is a chronic disease. It's like diabetes, basically.
Yeah, well, sometimes
Always there.
Dormant atypical
Yeah.
melanocytes. They are sleeping, just sleeping.
How
How,
does seeing
how does regression affect the probability that metastases have already occurred? Well, I mean, that's a long-standing controversy. Nobody can say, but we had an episode on regression. The more evidence is accumulated, the more the opinion that regression is a positive thing becomes more prevalent. There are a few meta-analyses recently and a few registry-based studies which showed a clear benefit for those melanomas that exhibit
clear
Yeah.
clear advantage over
Also,
Yeah, and also, sorry.
no. Also, from a histopathologic point of view, there are
Yeah.
few papers, providing evidence that the amount of regression is in direct correlation with survival.
Yeah,
But
and also it's associated with less positive sentinel lymph nodes. It means if we see a very thin melanoma and regression, we don't need to do the sentinel lymph node because the regression, if really it's a 0.4 Breslow thickness tumor and regression, we do not need to do more.
What I do not know, and I don't know if we have the answer, maybe Susanna knows. Do we know if melanomas of metastatic melanomas of an unknown primary have a better, worse, or equal survival as compared to metastatic melanomas with known primary? Do we have this answer?
There's some studies that demonstrate that those that are originated in the lymph nodes, they have better prognosis at the stage 3, classical stage 3. Even if dermatologists will identify an area that is with complete regression. And the second interesting thing is that many of these primary metastatic tumors, they have the signature of UV and the same mutations of cutaneous melanomas.
Yeah.
And now you know that many times when we do not see the primer in the skin, we start looking for mucosal melanomas and we try and we never find anything. And now with these molecular studies that it looks like the majority of them are originated in the skin.
Of course.
Yeah.
Fully regressed melanomas.
fully regressed melanoma.
Fully
So
regressed.
I'm building a thought actually based on all the things that we're discussing in George Moncrief's question. So we know that stage 3A melanomas have a better prognosis compared to 2B and 2C. So maybe it's the immune response that has, I don't know why balloons are popping up. Honestly, I'm not doing anything.
I love them. I love them.
Yeah, but I'm not doing anything. Maybe it's the immune system that keeps the balance in stage 3A. So it has been recognized by the immune system. Probably there was regression, and I'm not sure if there has been a study on stage 3A and regression. But maybe because of immune exhaustion, these melanomas progress later in life because all the studies that we have are usually 5 year survival, but we don't have 15-year survival. And it's just a thought. I'm blabbering, but it's a thought that I'm building based on our discussion. So maybe it is the immune system that controls these stage 3A melanomas in a very good way, but probably due to exhaustion, they progress way later in the life of the patient.
Yeah, it could be also the speed of the tumors is super important. And humans, we are used to arithmetic increase of things, 1, 2, 4, you know what I mean? And usually after 4, we can see 16 if it's exponential. It means
Yeah,
that when you are here already, it means 3B, 3D, you will grow very fast. While when you have a tiny primary with a few cells in the lymph node, probably we are in the beginning of this exponential growing, and maybe you need more time. I agree with you that it could be one explanation, that just we are in early stages and we need to wait. Something that for me is super important to understand today is that stage 2A have exactly the same prognosis as 3A.
yes.
And with the stage 3A, we are doing a specific follow-up with CT scans and whatever. And
Or
with
even adjuvant.
2A, or even you can treat them with immune
Yeah.
therapy, and it's sometimes you do, sometimes you do not, whatever, but you can do that. And for 2A, we are doing nothing or
Yeah.
nearly nothing, maybe ultrasonography of the lymph nodes. It
Yeah.
means that we need to prepare kind of reviews and studies trying to better understand if we are doing under surveillance in 2A or over treatment in 3A. You know that
both,
there is
or both.
broad
This is
treatment.
created by and this is strictly connected to what Costantino was saying before about 3A. It's a bias, in my view. It's a bias of our actual way of staging melanoma, and the bias is the fact that we give too much importance to the presence of melanocytes in the lymph nodes comparing to the thickness of the tumor, which is much more stronger,
Yeah,
is much
exactly,
stronger
I,
exactly. And then it for me doesn't make sense to do a different surveillance in 2A and 3A because the prognosis is exactly the same. And concerning treatment, of course, it's a proof and it benefits a small proportion of patients. Then in this specifically 2As and 3As, for me, the possibility to have additional biomarkers, it's super important because it's true that some of them will die, but it's super difficult to know who will be.
Exactly.
By the
Yeah.
way, we have to, the time is running, guys.
Wow.
just let me say one thing that I really want to say. It's my strong conviction that mitosis play a very big role, and
Completely
I
agree.
totally disagree with them being left out in
Yeah,
the staging.
Exactly.
A,
I
a,
agree.
one, wa-
exactly.
a 1.5 melanoma with 3 mitosis is totally different
Yeah.
than a 1.5
Yeah,
with 11 mitosis. It's
I
biologically
completely agree with you.
way more aggressive,
Yeah,
and I think we need to insert it back
yeah,
somehow.
yeah.
Yeah,
Same,
yeah,
same
exactly.
for,
And
same for
Completely
muscular
agree.
invasion.
And
Yes,
connected to what you are saying, there is also this comment by Elisa. What about regression in young and elderly patients? It makes a difference. Age makes a big difference. It should be included in the staging system because young individuals are going much better than older individuals, independently from any other factors. So this is very, very important as well.
agreed.
Susanna, we have to say hello and goodbye and thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
It
much.
was
being
really
with
a
Thank you
us.
so
pleasure.
much,
Really a
Susanna.
pleasure. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank
Bye.
you.
It was
We
Susanna,
love
wonderful.
see
you.
It
you
was
soon.
wonderful. Thank
It was
you. Thank you.
wonderful.
Bashi, bashi.
Ciao, ciao, ciao. Could hypigmentation and excessive regression affect whether a melanoma patient is considered a candidate for neoadjuvant therapy, even if the stage is 1A? Well, I mean, that's, let's say, a few steps ahead That's the idea, that if we have good biomarkers of any kind that can predict, can spot these few early stage melanomas that are going to metastasize, then of course that could change the management. I'm not saying that it necessarily should be systemic treatment, could be, or it could be a closer surveillance, let's say. But we have to start from spotting them effectively, because for the moment we cannot do it. If we are saying that in melanoma metastasis of unknown primary, the cutaneous primary lesion has regressed, how can we also say that metastatic risk is low in regression? That's a good point.
Yeah.
The big answer is because we have no idea how many melanomas undergo full regression without metastasizing, because those melanomas are never diagnosed.
Yeah.
So
We are
don't
only
have-
aware about those that are metastasizing, but not of those who are disappearing and never affecting anything in patient's life. Yeah.
There's a very nice question, but I had it in. If there's any correlation of dermoscopic image with mitosis, and yes, there was a really nice paper by Simone, I think, Ribeiro, that displayed that intense black color and mainly peripheral streaks are correlated with mitosis, and this makes sense. What is
Yes.
peripheral streaks? Histopathologically, is melanocytic nests in the periphery of the lesion. This shows that the lesion grows. This shows that the lesion has an aggressive biologic behavior. And this makes perfect sense, and it's in line with what we were discussing before.
And
Absolutely.
all nodular melanomas, they have high mitotic index.
Ragazzi,
Okay,
ragazzi.
basta, basta.
Sebastiano wants to
basta.
say something.
Sebastiano, go.
The therapeutic ambition that defines us, what we believe in, the medical approach that motivates all we do. The medicine of the skin. The medicine of the skin means working together alongside healthcare professionals from around the world in their day-to-day practice. For them, means consolidating the invaluable knowledge of our cutting-edge dermatological expertise, forged by studying skin disorders and pushing research forward to fight all skin diseases. For them, means leaning into our pharmaceutical heritage to develop dermotherapeutic skincare of the future by applying mechanisms of action from medications. For them, our patients. Because at Aven, we're led with purpose to strengthen our positive impact on patients' quality of life, as we always have, today and tomorrow, thanks to the medicine of the skin.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so it's time for Penelope and Daria.
Penelope and Daria. Do you want to go first with Daria? Who's gonna
Okay,
show?
I go with Daria. Okay,
Go.
let me go with Daria immediately. I love what Daria was preparing for us. You see, okay, can you see it? Yes, I suppose yes. The importance of manipulation during dermatoscopy. You see this lesion. You see that there is a scale crust all over the lesion. That's the UV light dermoscopy. Scales makes it difficult to check. And that's what she's doing. Yeah? You see? You see, removing the scale, yeah, and then of course you have these scales with spikes, and look how beautiful is the lesion now.
Discoid lupus.
This is so nice, yeah. Look, these are
See, I think.
two beautiful images provided by Daria. Look at this video. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Wow.
So
Beautiful.
good. Yeah. The quality is very nice, and of course, the diagnosis is
Well
called
differentiated as C.
as
No,
Lupus.
lupus,
Lupus, discoid lupus.
called lupus, as Nisa was mentioning,
Mhm.
and yeah, this is impressive. And by the way, 4 weeks after topical clobetasol therapy,
Nice.
gone. Yeah.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you,
As
Daniel.
always.
Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Very nice. We go on, or we have something more to show? No.
No, go with
go on.
Penelope.
Okay. I go with Penelope. Perfect. So let's go quickly. We start with the case for Nisa as always, 60-year-old on the scalp, a nodule, dome-shaped, present for 2 months. That's the non-polarized light. Hey, that's something that we have
Pheromatricoma.
seen many
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Pheromatricoma.
The calcification there and this vascular thing.
My favorite lesion.
It's nice. It's nice. Structureless blue-gray areas, white, yellow, homogeneous, plus white streaks, plus vascular components. And this should be, yes, the pilomatrechoma, quite characteristic.
It's the French
The French flag.
pilomatrechoma. Yeah.
French flag sign.
French flag sign.
Very nice.
Nice. Next one, worrisome, 86-year-old, worrisome lesion identified on examination, but come on.
Oh,
Seborrheic
beautiful.
keratosis.
Beauty.
Clonal
Clonal
type.
centrale.
Clonal.
Yeah. Very good. Seborrheic keratosis, but what type? Clonal seborrheic keratosis, very nice. Then for Jeppy, 36, soft pink nodule present for 5 years on the right malleolus.
Okay.
Where is malleolus?
I don't know.
It's the Achilles tendon.
Achilles tendon.
Okay. Nice, beautiful vessels. Looks good.
This is
good.
I don't know.
What
A
can
crine poroma, but doesn't have the.
It could be something
looped and
very
linear,
unusual.
irregular branched vessels in the entire surface, white, pink structure.
Epidermal cyst.
Neurofibroma.
Neurofibroma.
Okay, very good.
Nice. And then the next one for me, 57, very old brown macula, abrupt and recent change in appearance. Also this one, I think we can do it because we have discussed about it quite exhaustively. I would say.
Lichen planus like
We
keratosis.
gave it a name also.
We have a name.
LPLK.
Yes, we have a name.
LPLK.
The mandarina. The
Leopiris like keratosis.
Before the mandarina, the mandarina
LPLK.
was generated in your Congress. But before this, last year, don't you remember the LPLK, which stands for Leopiris like keratosis?
Leopiris like keratosis.
Leopiris like keratosis. Yeah.
This should be Constantino's question.
And the point is that Leopiris like keratosis does not destroy the acronym. It's still an
It's still LPLK. It's great.
Still an LPLK.
Yes.
Okay, very good. White streaks, by the way, also here. Pre-existing lentigo, of course, from which the lesion arose through regression. So Leopiris-like keratosis. And for the nicest of the coordinators, 12-year-old child, dome-shaped nodule on the left face. That's dermoscopy.
Another plematricoma. Another plematricoma.
Another classic
Plematricoma.
pilomatrechoma should be white yellow areas, shiny white lines again. We said many times, shiny white lines is not so bad. It's not such a bad thing.
Not necessarily.
It's not such a bad thing. Also some vascular areas here. So another pilomatrechoma. Very good. Thank you so much.
Bravo, Penelope.
Great cases.
Wonderful cases.
Video and then Kahoot.
Okay, let's go.
When we at Heine Optotechnik develop, improve, and produce our instruments, we first think of the many thousands of doctors worldwide who use our instruments every day. And we think about the millions of people worldwide who are examined with our instruments, the patients. We think about the fact that a good diagnosis must be as precise as possible so that diseases are detected as early as possible. We think about the future of millions of people, and we think about how that future can be a healthy future. That's why we build the best instruments for over 75 years. Heine. Quality made in Germany.
Wonderful.
Fantastico, fantastico. Quality made in Germany. And now, Kahoot. Are we ready?
Ready.
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Are you sure?
Let's see.
How was the wedding, by the way?
Oh, fantastic.
Wedding.
Very nice. Yeah. Wedding yesterday in Athens.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We have the musica. You hear the musica?
Yes.
No music.
Yes.
Yes, right now.
We have only one player.
The Leopardis-like keratosis.
Okay, shall we?
Yes.
Let's go. Boom. Andiamo. Case number 1 for today is gonna be this one. That's the clinical. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you like it? Yes.
Yes, I like it. Viral word.
That's dermoscopy. Beautiful image. Isn't this a beautiful image?
Yes, it is.
Very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
Thank you. Okay. The next question is, what is it? What is this fancy lesion? Merkel cell carcinoma, poroma, clear cell carcinoma, or cell care?
Chiaro.
Seborrheic keratosis. Irritated? Who knows?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay. What happened here?
Tahoma.
Tahoma.
Taha.
Xanthoma and Lovkei. Tahoma, xanthoma, and
is the name of the macOS system.
Wait, number 3 is Love K.
Love K.
Yes, I'm voting for Love K. They should win.
Because Love K stands for Love Konstantinos.
I hope.
Okay, case number 2, a lady with 2 lesions. You see them, 1, 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, that's the clinical photograph of these 2 lesions, which are somehow neighboring.
Yes.
That is dermoscopy.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, how many of them are malignant? 0, 1, or 2?
ZPA and
60
dermatofibroma. No.
Wait.
What happens here is that Gianpaolo is now first.
Gianpaolo, grande
Gianpaolo,
Gianpaolo.
JP's resident.
Ex-resident.
And
He's now instructor.
He's now a dermatologist.
Uh-huh.
but he was a winner a couple of times, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is, which is the specific diagnosis of these two lesions? Options: 2 seborrheic keratosis, 2 nevi, 1 and 1, or 1 seborrheic keratosis and 1 dermatofibroma. Oh, that you saw. I mean, Jeppy trapped you because he said 1 dermatofibroma, and then you all voted blindly without using your own eyes. You were just trusting.
First one is
because
seborrheic
because
keratosis,
they
second
thought-
one is dermal
They thought like
nevus.
me. They thought like me. Yeah.
No, by the way, the second one looked
Eat
so much
them.
like a bapoma.
Papoma, but,
Yeah, papoma. Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I
it's
don't believe it because I mean, that was my clinical, of course, not diagnosis. My clinical clever thing that I said. I
Yeah,
decided to say.
Yeah.
It
To
looks like a
impress your
papoma.
residents, to
Yeah,
impress
to
your
impress the
fellows.
residents. Yeah, to impress the residents. Exactly. But it was just a nevus. Okay, good. What happened here is that MN now is in the first place, followed by Ale Tzipel and Gianpaolo in the third, which brings us to case number 4. Case number 4 is this nice, quite large lesion with this dermatoscopic image.
Okay.
And the question is very simple. What's that? Options are the following: nevus melanoma, solar and high care, or pigment cloud.
They're a trap.
Why? That's so
Why?
easy.
What happened here? Because
Lentiginous melanoma.
everybody thought there is a trap.
Everybody
Yes.
thought there is a trap. Yeah.
But there were unglated lines,
Yeah.
which is the clue.
Everybody thought there is a trap, but there was no trap. I mean, it's just a melanoma. It's just a melanoma. Yeah, which was just quite large in diameter. Melanoma, guys. What happened is that MN is still in the first place, followed by GPL and RATS.
Where is Love K?
Where is Love K? I don't know. Which brings us to the last one, which is gonna be one of my favorite panels.
Uh-huh.
4 photographs, and the question is,
Which
how
one is
many dermatofibromas? How many? 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4?
For me, just one.
The correct answer was marginally voted by the biggest number, 42 correct answers, which the correct answer was 3. And now you tell me which one is not dermatofibroma.
The last one.
Bottom left.
Bottom
The
left.
first
Bottom
one.
left.
Bottom left.
The first one is
Bottom left.
Kaposi.
Bottom
No,
left.
the first one is hemosclerotic.
Bottom left. What is the bottom left? BCC.
Bottom left.
Really?
BCC.
Yeah.
BCC. Blue clots. Blue clots.
Yeah.
Blue clots. BCC.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the rest are dermatofibromas. And let's see what happened. Third place for today goes to Tahdir. Second place goes to Mirandolina.
Mirandolina.
The big winner of
First.
the night is N.
Melanocytic nevus.
Bravo! This was a very tough Kahoot session. So the winner is really the winner.
It's Milos.
It's not melanocytic nevus. It's Milos Nisavic.
Milos. Oh, yeah. I mean, we know him.
Yeah, we know Milos.
Know him, of course, we know Milos. She's been a winner
This is
again,
the
first of
third
all.
time.
Yes, here she is.
Milos, how
Hello,
are you?
everyone.
Hi,
Another
Milos.
Nisa.
But is it the second or the third time that you win?
Third, I think.
It's
This is
third.
third.
Yes,
Third.
you're
Yeah.
right, Lisa.
Wow.
Because of the
Wow.
surname, we are very close.
No, but we have to organize a special
Yes.
session for the winners of our Kahoot. You know.
No, but you personally promised that this year, the one that is gonna win the most times, he's gonna have a big prize, and we are waiting to hear.
That will be a dermatoscope.
We are waiting to hear from you which is gonna be the prize.
Tiny or DL5.
Wonderful. Bravo, Milos. Bravo,
Milos, how are you? All
Bravo.
good?
Everything is fine.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
And
You're
Va
doing a
bene,
great
va
job.
bene, va bene, ragazzi.
and just smile, let's take a photo.
Yes.
Smile.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. See
you, guys.
you next
Fantastico.
Sunday. See
Thank
you
you.
next Sunday. Un bacione grande.
Thank you all. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Baci.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Abbracci.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.